Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Buckshot Thursday here on the Ohio Patriot Network YouTube channel. I'm as always your host, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about good versus evil, the spiritual war currently going on in this country here in the U.S. of America. And really, not only just the U.S., but all across the world right now, it seems like. You have, attacks on, Christians, you have attacks on Jewish people, etc., whether it be by Islam, whether it be by, a bunch of Satanist loving pieces of shit out there who want to push the whole transgender agenda, etc., etc. And yeah, it's a lot of fucking issues right now, dude. And not to mention the fact you have literally demonic evil within our governments at this point. Whether it be the powers that shouldn't be, the cheaters across the board right now, whether it be, the Bidens and Harrises, whether it be the Macrons of the world, you can keep going from there basically. But it's all these globalist puppets and stuff like that are just purely demonically evil is what it is, dude. Not to mention a lot of people in Congress here in America. Chuck Schumer's a great example of that. Hakeem Jeffries is a great example of that. Like, these dudes are definitely crossroads demons, 100%. And even at state levels, you start looking at the gun grabbing going on from a lot of these people. And what do they push? They will, like, most of the time, depending on, racial issues and stuff like that, they'll either play the race card if they are a minority, or it'll be an entire separate situation there where they'll just, like, sit there and, fuck around people's rights anyways, what it is, as, a white person and stuff. Not to mention the cultural war stuff, where it's, people wanting to play the identity politics games and stuff like that. And that also has to do with that, too, for that matter. But also, like, the other, like, white folks out there and stuff like that are Democrats that want to push the fucking, oh, I'm, this thing or that thing religious-wise. And it's like, no, you're just an asshole, dude, because you're trying to grab guns is the whole point. And why are they trying to disarm us so badly is what it seems like. And it makes sense when you think about it. Like, what better way to take over a country, what better way to take over the world than to disarm the civilian populations of these countries? We've already seen it in France, we've already seen it in Sweden, we've already seen it in all over the UK, Britain, etc. there, Scotland, Ireland now, which the Irish are fighting back now, finally. They're fucking torching things at this point, dude. Like, they're like, nah, fuck that, dude. It's time for some Irish car bombs, bitches. So they haven't gone quite that far yet, but they've definitely gone, like, full Molotov anyway. I guess all the illegals going into their countries there is what it is. And it's interesting because you start looking at, like, who's behind a lot of that stuff, and it is just evil people is what it is, dude. It's evil globalist people out there. It's the same, Soros types, etc., Bilderberg types, all people like that, the ones that funded Hitler, 80, 90 years ago. And, like, we are not far away right now from having death camps on U.S. soil. I truly believe that right now. Because there's been a lot of talk for, I would say, at least a good year or so, and some evidence, too, for that matter, of people being contracted to build these things in our country. And it would be pretty much every single state that they would exist in then. And again, people wonder why I am such a 2A advocate. People wonder why I'm such a 2A absolutist is what it is right now. And it's because this is exactly why, dude. Because they will start by disarming you through various bullshit ways. Like the crap we saw on the Supreme Court recently where it was the domestic abuser stuff, whatever the case be. Or domestic violence is what it is there. Which, first of all, if that's really going to be a disqualifier for Second Amendment rights, then why aren't these people in prison already is what it is then, right? Like, if they're really that much of a violent, individual, if they're really that much of a menace to society, if you will, why aren't they already sitting in a prison cell? And it's the same thing with convicted felons, too, for that matter. It's like, if you're going to be such a violent individual that you're going to be considered a convicted felon when you get out of prison and stuff like that, why the hell are you out of prison to begin with? Versus if you went into prison, for some reason or another, like, let's say, cashing bad checks or something like that, now you come out a convicted felon. That's absolute bullshit because, again, it should be you should have your rights restored immediately on that spot. That is what it is, dude. As soon as you were released from prison that day, every single one of your constitutional rights from the Bill of Rights should be immediately restored to you. Free speech, right to keep and bear arms, the Second Amendment, etc., etc. And the problem with us not doing that is then you have these people that will continue to be repeat offenders and stuff like that. And it then leads to, again, falling to evil ways or becoming the puppets of evil is what it is. And I think, honestly, truthfully, we are very much in a spiritual war at this point, dude. Like, we are definitely, like, we have seen so many different things right now. People are just trying to wash away or wipe away as literal Book of Revelation stuff at this point, like the 10 plagues kind of shit. And it's like, bro, like, I don't care if it's moths, I don't care if it's dragonflies, like, it's a fucking plague, bro. When you have a shitload of fucking little insects coming at your windshield or coming through your fucking thing, I don't care if it's supposed to be an annual thing. Like, that's another thing, too, by the way. I heard somebody say that the other day. It was like, the dragonfly thing in Rhode Island was like annual fucking shit. Okay, then why has there never been evidence of this before this, then, dude? Ask yourself that. Why has there never been literal videos circulating the internet for the past 10, 20 years now of people filming this shit anytime in the last couple decades now? Why is it only now, here in 2024, that we're seeing that kind of crazy shit? And it's the same thing with locusts, too, for that matter. You know, there was a bunch of locusts here probably about 6-8 months ago now, maybe a little bit further than that even. Maybe it was like in the last year, till in the last year, like October, November last year, basically, where you had a giant locust swarm in like California and a couple other states there that was just consuming all the crops and stuff. And it's like, again, that's one of the 10 plagues is locust, dude. And like I've been telling people, it's like, if we start seeing water literally turning to blood, dude, like, I am flipping the fuck out, legitimately. Like, I'm like, oh no, it's fucking end times, baby. Like, let's do this shit, kind of thing. And I am literally dropping on my knees and like praying to God right then and there is what it'll be, dude, to lift me up to the heavens, basically, and not be one of the leftovers at the end of the day. Because there will be those people, honestly, dude. And I think that will be a big thing also, for that matter. It's going to be the people that will be, you know, spiritually repenting, that will actually be saved and are legitimately repentful for what they did, you know, for their evils on earth. Here's what it is. And it will be the people that are definitely, you know, either demonically evil or they're just absolute pieces of shit, or even demon possessed for that matter. And it'll just be like, nope, you're done. You're gone. And that'll be what happens basically on that one. So, yeah, I definitely see us being in a spiritual war between good and evil right now. And I believe evil is winning some things, but I think we're starting to see good turn the tide at this point. Like, we're starting to see the light envelop the darkness is what it is. And that's a good thing, obviously, because it means that eventually you will see good win. You will see God win. You will see Jesus win. Satan will lose. His minions will lose. You know, we will actually be back to a good spiritual country, hopefully, at that point. And it really makes you wonder, you know, all these people, and I was talking about it earlier on my backup channels there, with the whole trans thing. It really makes you wonder, right? You got this piece of shit, Chris Tyson, the guy that worked for Mr. Beast there, who, by the way, the whole Mr. Beast brand is demonic in himself. It's what it is. But the entire point of that is, so you got this Chris Tyson guy, you know, claims to be transgender, claims his name is now Ava is what it is, proceeds to have it come out here in the last couple weeks now that the dude was trying to meet with minors. Like, I don't know if it was a girl or a guy, but they were like 14 years old. So that's all that matters. They were trying to meet with a minor when they're like in their 30s or something. They're a sick, disgusting, degenerate, pedophile piece of shit. And I'm going to say it like it is, dude. The problem with that shit is right there is you then have people, a lot of people actually, in the so-called trans community who are then going to bat for this asshole. And it's like, dude, why would you go to bat for someone who is obviously a child molester, who is obviously using your whole community to cover for their bullshit, disgusting behaviors, what it is? It's like, no, that dude is a fucking straight white male, literally, dude. Faking to be trans so that they can then use that as protection to cover their ass so they can't be fucking called out. That's what I don't give a fuck, dude. I'll call their ass out anyway. Fuck you, Chris Tyson, you piece of shit. Like, the dude's lucky he hasn't been murked the fuck out at this point, honestly, dude. Like, he's really lucky people haven't just, like, showed up to his house and beat the shit out of him at this point, honestly. So, which I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen in the future, honestly, if that be the case. Not to mention going back to the Mr. Beast thing. I think that guy's going to get Rico active pretty soon. If he doesn't, I'd be surprised because it's all coming out now that his whole channel's been, fake contests, fake winners, all that stuff like that. It's been literally his buddies being the ones that behind every fucking winning is what it is there. And it's all just a bunch of fake bullshit is what it is, dude. Because that's the thing, right? When you look at Satan, when you look at evil in this world, it all masquerades, dude. It's all a masquerade. It's them doing the whole puppet show, showing you what you want to see, and then from there, it's everybody else not realizing, hey, here's the man behind the curtain pulling the fucking levers is what it is. Versus, God and Jesus, they're just straight on the level is what it is, dude. Like, they know what the fuck's up. It was God creating this earth in 6 days. It was his only begotten son, Jesus Christ, being sent to us to die for our sins. And then, of course, people want to rewrite history and be like, oh, the Jews never killed Jesus, even though it's literally fucking biblical text, dude. And it's like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, they obviously did. It's like biblical shit at that point. So, it's like, stop lying to yourself. Admit that shit, dude. But anyway. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what the hell this plug is for. I just saw this sitting there. I think this might be for my razor thing that's over there. So. I got distracted for a sec there. But anyway. So yeah, but basically going back to the good evil thing. Like, you have Tyson, coming out there being all like using that smoke screen of transgenders and bullshit is what it is, because they want to push the pedophile shit is what it is. I think you have these individuals coming out there that are all part of the so-called LGBTQ community, etc. there, and are like, oh yeah, I'm trans too, blah, 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 and all this other shit and whatnot. And then they're going to bat for this dude, and it's like, bro, like, why would you go to bat for that person when they are obviously trying to bang children, unless you yourself are also trying to bang children? Like, it just blows my mind, And for those that don't know, this is this whole thing I'm talking about right now, dude, is pretty much exactly why I had that fallout with Guns and Barbecue and all those dudes a couple years ago. Is because I was sitting there talking about, pedophile enablers at that time, being a lot of teachers in this country is what it is there. Or if they're not, they're directly, trying to molest the kids themselves is what it is there. But they're definitely pushing all this, transgenderism on kids and stuff like that in schools. Instead of actually teaching them the basics of reading, arithmetic, all stuff like that's what it is. And so the problem there is that, then you got dumbasses like Yankee Marshall, who wanted to claim a couple of years ago that supposedly calling out child molesters makes you a child molester, which makes no fucking sense at all. like explain the retard logic behind that one, Yankee. Seriously. Or you, Baron, who tried to fucking use that shit to slander my ass, which you're lucky I don't fucking know who you actually are, dude, because I would have sued the shit out of you at this point for slander defamation and taking you for a fucking dime you have, buddy. So, and I'm pretty sure it's your ass still trying to fucking hack my Facebook account right now, douchebag. I saw the next one. There's been about 18 different attempts in the last 2 weeks or so on my personal Facebook account, and there was 2 more this morning that were from some part of PA. So, which it could be both those guys. It could be both fucking Baron and Barbecue for that matter. But it's like, again, just cut the shit, people. Because I seriously have no problem getting the cops involved at this point. And the fact that it's coming from Pennsylvania and Washington State, a lot of these are, like, y'all are skating on fucking thin ice right now, dude. Like, if I have to get the police involved, I fucking will. Because we actually have laws that have come into our state right now in the state of Ohio for the last, year or so, dude. And your asses would catch a felony in the state, motherfuckers. So just think about that while you're trying to fuck with my personal shit is what it is, dude. But anyway. So really, it's just cut the shit. Or fuck around and find out is what it is there. And that's all I've said about that one. But anywho, actually, speaking of the good versus evil thing here, so we had South Park literally becoming reality in the last couple of days, where you had one of the Olympic dudes being a male fighting against a chick, and literally beating that chick almost to death in like 45 seconds to the point where she just walked off the fucking thing is what it is. Yeah. Yep, it's evil. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, fans erupt in anger after Olympic boxer alleged to have male chromosomes defeats female fighter in under a minute. And if I'm not mistaken, like this is South Park for real becoming life, dude, because it was the red blue fucking thing, and I'm pretty sure it was Randy Savage in the fucking red in that South Park episode, dude. Or the Heather Swanson character, I should say. So it's like, bro, come on now. So see, ad hammers Kamala Harris over children's alleged rape and murder by migrant. Or child's alleged rape and murder. Oh, is that Jacqueline and Gary? Or is this somebody else now? Oh, no, it's a different kid. 11-year-old Maria Gonzalez in August 2023. Her killer, Juan Carlos Garcia Rodriguez, 18. Fucking disgusting what it is, dude. Oh, by the way, there was some crazy prisoner swap today to get a bunch of Russian people out of the Russian prison. There's what it is, including Paul Whelan. I still have not found out what they actually gave for these guys, which I'm guessing it was much more Merchant of Death types is what it is there. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all, dude. You got Hollywood celebs headline dance party for Kamala. By the way, I guess apparently it's coming out now that it was either at the Megan Thee Stallion concert or it was at another rally that Kamala had there in Atlanta. But they were literally busing in homeless people to be part of her fucking crowd of people there, dude, and feeding these people and giving them like free haircuts and shit like that's what it was, so they could be there and be her so-called voter base. Like it is such it's such fraud evil, dude, is what it is. Like she's such a fraud, she's so evil is what it is, dude. And you have the media going to bat for this woman at every single level. They're literally trying to 1984 rewrite history to show that she is not a sack of shit, which she clearly is, dude. It's like, it doesn't matter how much you rewrite things, people. Like, we have the fucking evidence. We have the videos. We have the photos. We have the records on file. Like, do you really think American citizens have not backed this shit up at this point? Like, are you really that stupid to think that we don't have that shit saved on hard drives, etc., everywhere at this point, dude? Of course we do. Whether it be citizen journalists, whether it be, independent journalist people, whether it be just everyday Americans like myself, honestly, who are Second Amendment advocates and activists. And really just Bill of Rights activists is what it is. Like, yes, we have these things on files. They are saved to flash drives, to hard drives, to outside things. Because we expose your fucking evil constantly. And we'll continue to expose your fucking evil all the time. But that's the problem, is that people don't want to wake up to what's right in front of their face a lot of the time. They don't want to see the pure evil staring them right in the face, dude. Whether that be Kamala, whether that be other people for that matter, it doesn't matter. It is demonically evil individuals who have stolen elections all across this country, who have used their power and influence that they've illegally obtained to make our lives worse off, to destroy our country from the inside out, to literally surge our border with people that are killing our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, etc. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, seriously, at what point is enough enough? You know? Like, that's a serious question I'm asking everybody out there. Like, what point is enough enough, people? Before you take a stand, before you rise up. before you say no, fuck these fucking people. They are scum. They are the scum of the fucking earth. They are literally demonic evil. They need to be treated as such. And it's really that simple, honestly. So, anyway. That's about it for today, I think. I got some stuff I got to do right now. I'm also not feeling the greatest. I don't know if it was something I ate earlier or what it was, but yeah. I think it might just be the heat in the house, too, for that matter. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. My sister was up here earlier today, actually. We're discussing about me possibly leaving the house now is what it is, which if that happens, it'll be most likely in the next 30 days, which is going to suck ass. So that'll definitely interrupt the coming schedules, what it is here, and it'll be just me trying to do whatever then and get everything packed up potentially. So, not that I really want to leave or anything like that, but at the same time, it's, it becomes a whole thing is what it is. It's a situation where it can't be helped, unfortunately. And really, it's basically just, the house is going to be sold. I wish I could stay here, but, it's basically if I can't work something out with the new owners, it'll be a whole thing then. And then again, it would also be a situation of, potentially me moving out for like a year, letting them have time to, repair everything or whatever, and then me even coming back maybe after the fact. But even that I feel like that's kind of a wrench at this point, though, because it's like, well, I like that idea and everything. At the same time, I'm just like, I'm very hesitant on that one where it's just like, nah, if I want to move, I'd rather just move and stay there for a couple of years, Not have it be a situation of me having to go, out one way and then come back around and stuff like that. So it's either just not move at all and just figure it out from here or whatever, or, like I said, move to wherever and just stay there is what it is, though. Which, I mean, right now it just like I would like to at least figure something out with these people and just possibly get a contract going till at least the end of the year anyway. Just because of the fact that, or even just maybe next spring for that matter, maybe we just do like, an 8-month contract or something like that until like, next June or some shit. Because it would be nice to have like one more Christmas here. It would be nice to not have to leave right before voting happens. It would be nice to actually know I'm going to be safe if something does go down. Because that's the thing that always always been worrying me is what it is right now is just, again, going back to the evil in our world right now. It's like, okay, God forbid I do leave, and then something, total chaos breaks out, and now I'm in like an unknown city, potentially in the state, to where I have nobody, friends, family, etc., anywhere near me, and I have no way to leave, basically, since I don't have my license what it is then, or vehicle. So, yeah, like the last thing I want to do is be stuck in like some random ass city in the state with no way to leave, versus, if I stayed here, at least I got the neighbor people that I've known for, 20 plus years of my life at this point. And then potentially like the three of us could hang out and, be over there essentially is what it is there. And then I would just have the house as like essentially like a means to an end kind of thing is what it is there. As like a backup place or whatever then. And so forth and so on. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's just, I really don't want to leave, but at the same time, like I understand having to potentially leave. And I just wish it would have been one of these situations where it would have been like a lot more like, hey, like we're going to do this now, not, hey, like wait like, a month or two and then do it after that is what it is or something. So, and I get what my sister's friend was telling me today because she's like, yeah, like God forbid, like everybody's trying to move, before school year starts. But the thing is, like, I don't think what she understands is that school year around here is like a couple of weeks from now is what it is. So it's like, if they ain't already moved, like, they ain't really going to move, that's what it is. So it becomes a whole thing on that one. So yeah, I don't know. It's just it's something to think about, obviously, and it's also just a situation of, you know, semantics is what it is right now. And I get what my sister was saying to me, because it's like a whole thing of, people that are buying the place, like they just didn't understand certain things, whatever. And it's like, and again, that could easily be something where it gets figured out. It could be a situation there of just them not understanding that one thing. Like, it's not like, oh my God, you got to leave because they don't understand how fucking rent works and stuff like that. Now, granted, that being said, I am very hesitant when it comes to the fact that initially what these people were telling us, specifically the guy in this situation, uh, originally told me when they first came out to check out the place a few months ago, what it was. He was like, oh yeah, like we'll figure, like if you'd want to stay like, a few $100 a month or something like that, that's what he's saying, because essentially he's saying like, 400, $500 a month maybe at most. And then it would be, good to go after the fact is what it is there. And then we were talking the other day when my sister was here. Now he's throwing out this whole thing of like, oh, give us a price. And it's like, dude, you're going to be the landlord here. Like, give me a fucking price. Like, that just seems like some terrible ass negotiating is what it is right there. So it's like, yeah, it does make me kind of hesitant to be like, do I really want to be here and have these people as my fucking landlord is what it is then? When they have obviously no idea what the fuck they're doing is what it is. So, but yeah, one thing I would definitely do, though, is I would not be stupid enough to do anything except have a contract in my name that they would definitely have their signature on. So I would have renter's protection, so I wouldn't get fucked over is what it is then. They tried to, evict me or tried to claim, like, oh, all this damage on the wallpaper from, like, 20 years of fucking being here and possibly just being grease and stuff like that, because the kitchen's, like, right there, like, literally right there, like, 20 feet from me right now is what it is, in the other room. That it could just be that, honestly, this whole time. But anyway. Yeah, it's hard to say, man, but like I said, I would like to think I could basically stay here and just, chill till the end of the year, but at the same time, it's like, I know it's probably not going to happen is what it is, so it's basic. What I'm going to try to do right now is I'm going to try to find a place closer to me that would still be, like, within the distance of this house, basically, to where if something does happen, I could always just come back to the house and use it as, like, a base of use this area as, like, a base of operations for, like, like, God forbid, like, Civil War breaks out or something like that. I know there's people around here that are good friends that would have my back, and potentially just let me stay with them at that point then, instead of it being, a situation of just like, oh yeah, like, you're fucked now, basically. Like, kick rocks, bitch, kind of thing. So, yeah. I just don't like the fact that it's all come to this shit, and the fact that, like I said, Mom's been gone for not even 8 months yet, is very, very much, another issue in itself there, because she was a rock of this family, dude. She really was. She knew how to keep us together, and unfortunately, it seems like we're being very much split apart right now. And it just bothers me quite a bit, honestly. So, sorry, I was just trying to figure something out now, because I was playing my game in the background here. So yeah, it's 168 hours worth of the speed up stuff that you're given in this game, which is quite a bit, actually. So, anyway. But yeah, like I said, it's got me down a little bit, because it's like, it would be one thing if I had, a bunch of family support right now being like, hey, we'll help you clean the place out in like 2-3 days or whatever the case, because that's what I need right now. I just need, like, people here for like 2 or 3 days that is there. I got everything boxed up, but it's like, yeah, if you're asking me to do that as like one man, like, good fucking luck helping me out by the end of the month, dude, because there's no fucking way. Like, there's physically no way possible of me doing that on my own in that short amount of time then. I still have an entire bedroom to pack up. I still have an entire bunch of other stuff to pack out of drawers and shit, and it's like, yeah, it's just so much. It's so overwhelming is what it is right now. Not to mention, my sister was giving a lot of shit because this china cabinet sitting right next to me here right now need to be taken out of here at some point as well, and is like basically going to call my aunt this weekend and be like, hey, do any of the cousins want this thing or not? And if they don't want it, she's like, oh, well, I'm just going to sell it basically. Then it's like, I don't know. Like, the problem with it right now is it's like, it would be one thing if it had like an actual lock mechanism on it and also wasn't like an entire glass cabinet. So, like that. Let's see if I can show it real quick here. It's the corner right there. So, like, glass cabinet with multiple panels. Like, it wasn't for that, I'd just have that and keep my guns in. That's what it is there. But the problem is, it's like, yeah, all people have to do is take like a hammer to it, basically, or even just like, wrap a fist up and just put a fist right through it, and it's going to be broken through. So, if it wasn't for that shit, I'd just take that myself, put my long guns in it and stuff, and then go from there, basically. But yeah, unfortunately, that's a no-go. But I mean, I think that could honestly be sold if it's not going to be like, I don't want to. That's the thing. I don't want to donate. I want to sell the damn thing, honestly, because it's not like people wouldn't have like other uses for it, dude. Like, if people are not going to take it, like, yes, then fucking sell it for money. That's like my sister talking shit about, like, oh, people don't buy China anymore. It's like, take it to a fucking pawn shop. Like, seriously. Like, stop just giving it away, dude. God damn. Like, you're giving away mom's entire legacy at this point. I'm fucking sick of it. So, that's what it feels like with my sister just trying to erase my mother at this point, honestly, and it's really starting to piss me off, honestly, dude. So, yeah. I don't know, though. It's just, again, it's the kind of things you gotta deal with when you have people wanting to take the lead on things and are technically being given the lead behind your back. So, yeah, it just feels very just like, just not good, is what it is. And like I said, it's hopefully it'll all work out for the best, but I don't know. It just feels like, I know my sister's trying to like sit there and act like she cares, and I think she does to some extent anyway. But at the same time, it's just like, it just feels like everything's just being erased. It's like mom's legacy, the house, the family lineage, and it wouldn't have had to be. It wouldn't have had to be if everybody had to talk her into fucking getting the shit as it is. So, but anyway. What do they say? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yeah, I feel like that's where we're heading right now, honestly, dude. So, anyway. But, yeah, that being said, though, I think that's where we're going to be off for today, though. I will be back at some point tomorrow with a new episode of Freedom Friday. I'm going to call my cousin here in a few minutes, and if he and I can get together and do some stuff tomorrow, I will do a reseller Friday as well. Again, it all depends if he wants to go over to the place or not in the morning, or if he has time to go over to the place in the morning, because I really need to give me a ride to chiropractor too, for that matter. So, because I 100% have to get a fucking adjustment tomorrow, because I put the shit off for like 2 weeks now, and my back feels like it's about to fucking give out entirely. So, no matter what, I got to go to the chiropractor tomorrow. And whether it be him taking me, whether it be my uncle taking me, I don't give a fuck at this point. I just need to go up there is what it is. I prefer it being him taking me, though, because again, then we can just hang out earlier in the day and go over the place and, sort through some shit, and then nothing else I buy, 10, $20 worth of stuff again. And just have more stuff to add to the pile than it is then. Because the thing is, I'm always obviously looking for preps myself, firstly, and then secondly, it's always, stuff I can resell for money down the lines it would be then. And the thing is, like, there's a lot of stuff you can get over there at that place that is, like, legit. Like, right now, I could go buy that shit for all 50 cents a piece, so it is there, and turn around, and if I was going to do, like, let go or something on there with it, which I need to figure out that app and maybe do that is what it is then, I could probably make, like, a pretty good chunk of change out of that stuff, dude. Where I can literally buy 50 cents and make, like, $20 in one thing, basically. Now, granted, the problem is with that is I never do the eBay side of it because, to me, that's just... You're wasting... Like, to me, what the problem with doing, like, eBay reselling and stuff like that is you're wasting so much money on just, like, packaging, shipping costs, etc. Whereas with something like, Facebook Marketplace or like a, Let Go, whatever the case be, you can probably meet those people in real life then, locally and shit, and it wouldn't be such an issue then, and all it would take is like a little bit of gas money here and there is what it is then. So, but yeah, it's definitely something to think about and look into and whatnot, so... Or like I said, hopefully we can get something together before, the end of the year here is what it is then, and just go to flea markets and shit like that and just make some money that way is what it would be then. So that's what my plan is right now, really, is just, making some cash and doing some things that way, and then if nothing else, I got, enough money to then buy a gun cabinet or something like that. Keep my stuff in like a gun locker or whatever there is. So, but anywho. But to reiterate, though, we are definitely 100% in a spiritual war for the soul of this country, for the heart of this country. Fighting against demonic evil, trying to actually keep this nation together, which it seems to me, honestly, anymore, like, is it really worth it to keep a 50-state America going when obviously there's a lot of states within this 50 states that are just a bunch of scumbags anyway? Like, specifically all the anti-gun Democrat states that are out there that are just hellholes and are dragging down everybody else with them is what it is. Versus, let's go ahead and say we had a civil war of some kind or, revolution of some kind or whatever then. And at the end of it, you just have, 20, 30 states, the better states in America at that point. I think it can work quite a bit, actually. And I believe there's a lot of people out there that would understand them as well. And they would agree with me on that one. Where it'd be like, yeah, we can have a better country when it's all just us, basically. And the thing is, when you look at what is the constitutional carry states in this country right now, like, that would be a great example of a map right now of what would happen in a potential second civil war at then. It would be all these states that are constitutional carry would just become America's new, republic. And then the other ones would just become these Democrat shitholes is what it is that are run by a bunch of psychotic leftist idiots hell-bent on destroying their own people at that point then. So you'd only have two Americas. You'd have the good America of people who actually care about things, care about society, etc. And you'd have the hellhole America of all the demonic evil that, pushes agendas on kids, pushes agendas on adults, etc., etc. And I don't know about y'all, man, but I would definitely want to stay in the America that gives a shit about my rights, is what it is. And cares about me as a human being, basically, and not, trying to push demonic evil on myself or anyone else for that matter. So, anyway. Other than that, though, that's where we're going to be at for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good one, y'all. Stay safe, stay vigilant. Always be caring because you never know what's going to happen. And when it does happen, shit's going to get real spicy real fucking quick to the point that you're not going to be able to have, backups upon backups upon backups, etc. So whatever you're going to have right now, you're going to have with you. And now is the time to start carrying extra stuff, dude, honestly. 100% across the board. Because, there's going to be that day where you're going to wish you had, that full plate carrier, that full, loadout in your vehicle, etc. And you're not going to have it. So, yeah, I would say, honestly, wherever you're going right now, like, try to carry that stuff with you, man. Nothing else, keep it in your trunk, keep it in the hidden compartment in your vehicle, something like that, And if worse comes to worse, like, at least you have something with you then. Whether that be a PCC, whether that be, an actual AR, whether it be a full rifle, whether it be an AR pistol, whatever the case be there. And, of course, you got your sidearm, too, on you at all times. Because that's the thing. You should always be looking at that perspective of things, that your pistol is meant for one thing and one thing only, to get to your rifle. Yeah, you can take down a lot of people with a pistol, a lot of evil with a pistol, if a mob is swarming you. But at the end of the day, let's be honest with ourselves, you'd be much better off with a rifle. And Kyle Rittenhouse, 4 years ago, showed us exactly that, dude. When that 17-year-old young man was able to sit there and deal with pure evil right in front of him, trying to literally snatch his gun out of his hand in the form of literal child molester, Joseph Rosenbaum. And then, after the fact, had to deal with wife beater Anthony Huber. So yeah, he had to deal with so much that night, dude. And that kid kept his cool. And I'll tell you what, I've seen grown men that wouldn't be able to keep their cool like that. So, like, kudos to Rittenhouse for real, man. Like, he did what he needed to do that night to stay alive. And a lot of other people wouldn't be able to do that. A lot of other people would have folded under pressure. And I know there's people out there that give Kyle shit because they're like, oh, this dude's like Forrest Gump. It's like, maybe, maybe not, Am I saying he's the smartest man in the world? No. But he did what he needed to do to save his own life that night from the evils of this world. And that's all that matters, dude. That's all that matters, is he was able to live through that. And whether that be God having his back, whether that be a guardian angel having, protection over him is what it is, who knows? But all I know is I believe in higher powers. I believe in stuff like that. Hell, I've seen stuff like that, dude. Like, there is miraculous things that have happened all across this earth. Whether it be babies literally surviving car crashes that they shouldn't have, whether it be, human beings being able to literally lift stuff off of vehicles to save kids. Adrenaline does a lot, obviously, but, like, at some point, there's got to be a supernatural element to that, dude. Like a mother having the power to lift a fucking car off her child. That's not just fucking, bullshit, dude. That is 100% crazy stuff going on there. So, in a lot of cases, it is God's will. It's God's will for people to live. It's hell, like myself, dude. I had colon cancer almost 8 years ago now. Actually, just over 8 years ago now. Because it would have been January of 2016 is when I was diagnosed. May of 2016 is when I had the surgery to have it removed. So, yeah, I could not be here right now if they hadn't caught that. And I believe it was truly a miracle of God, dude, that I'm still here right now. That I'm here to be his servant, honestly. Am I a great servant? Probably not. Probably not the best one. But does that mean that, I still couldn't be a good one. Of course I could be a great one. You know? And it might be something where, you know, who's to say I'm not going to be a future, you know, modern day apostle or something like that to a modern day Jesus Christ or something. I mean, hell, look at that. Look at half those guys, dude, in the original biblical texts. A lot of those guys were pieces of shit in general. Like, they were way worse than I was. So, yeah, I could easily see something like that being the case. And it's all that matters at the end of the day. So, anyway. But yeah, that being said, probably about 6:30 tomorrow, give or take, so about 22 hours from now, we'll be doing the next Freedom Friday. Like I said, depending if I can get a hold of my cousin and we go out tomorrow morning or not, I will do a reseller Friday if that happens. If we don't go out, I won't do a reseller Friday, but I'm definitely going to go out for sure and get my back adjusted because it is fucked right now, for real. So hopefully, even if we went out tomorrow morning, I could actually have enough, you know, to be able to even get the stuff and put it in a bin, literally. So, but I think I'd be okay right now on most of that. So anyway, but yeah, definitely want to pick up some more stuff for sure because, you know, I've already got a lot of good shit here that I'm definitely going to sell at some point. And I'm going to make, like I said, a few, I could pretty, like, as long as our society keeps functioning right now, I can make at least a few hundred to about $1,000 off of all the shit together if I sold everything right now. So I think it'd be, more or less, I think it'd be probably about, with all the stuff having the ones I'm going to sell for sure right now, it's probably about $300 to $400, honestly, because I can make off that stuff. And even, you know, a couple $100 right there off of that would be good enough to me right now is what it is. Because again, when I'm paying, you know, 50 cents a piece for stuff, it's like, I'm not going to be a greedy asshole about things, dude. I'm just going to, you know, get what I can out of it. If people want to, you know, get a deal, they'll still get a deal is what it is. You know, I got no problem with cutting people a deal, but I'm not going to just give it away is what it is, you know. Like, I still paid money for it, so. And the fact that if they were to go directly to Amazon and buy half this shit, it would be like at least twice the price I'd be giving to them is what it is there, so. Anyway. But yeah, it's a whole thing. But other than that, though, that's where I'm going to be at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream. See y'all on the next one. Have a good one, y'all. Stay safe, stay vigilant. Always be caring to what's going to happen. And for sure, fight for 2A rights, man, because there are far too many people on this site who don't seem to give a shit when they are literally making money off of the Second Amendment every single day of their lives. And I will call at least one of them out by name right now. Demo Ranch, you, sir. As far as I'm aware, I've never done anything for the Second Amendment, for advocacy at all. And yet you have millions and millions of people as your follower base. Like, dude, start fighting for the Second Amendment, bro. Especially after what happened with Trump, dude. Like, I saw the apology, bro, but, like, again, like, it's nothing that, like, kid bought a shirt. Just happened to be one of your shirts, dude. Or it was just given a shirt, honestly, let's be honest with ourselves. That was a total fucking setup to fuck over the Second Amendment, what it is. But nah, dude, seriously, like, fight for 2A rights, dude. Because the thing is, Democrats are always going to be attacking them, whether it be at a federal level, whether it be at a state level. So use your platform to not just show gun stuff, to not just, you know, do stuff with the Second Amendment, but actually to advocate for its continued existence. Because if it's not for people like me, if it's not for people like, you know, Chris Dorr, people like the people at Ohio Gunners, etc., FPC, all people like that, dude, you wouldn't even have gun rights at this point, dude. Because you would have already had Democrats, you've already had scumbag evil in this world take away your rights and mine. It's why I've been in this fight for... I've been a gun owner for less than a decade, and I've been fighting almost the entire time for gun rights in this state, in this country. Less than 6 years ago, I became a gun owner in this state for the first time. It was literally days before the 2018 midterms. And since 2019, I have been fighting for Second Amendment rights across the board. So that's a pretty fucking quick turnaround, people. It was about 6 months, give or take, between the time I became a gunner and the time I started fighting for Second Amendment rights in this country. And there's other people who have been gunners for decades in this nation and haven't done shit. So, you know. And that's why I personally will thank myself every single day of being like, thank you, Adam, for helping get constitutional carry passed in the state of Ohio. Because if it wasn't for me and other people out there, you know, calling up the state reps, state senators every single day, dude, and bitching them out and being like, you know, dragging their feet to the fire literally at that point, to where they actually passed the fucking bills, we wouldn't be a constitutional carry state right now. And that was me spending over a year of my life to do that right now. You know how many people have thanked me in this state for doing that? Because nobody knows. Nobody seems to care. And that's what's fucked up too, man. Like, how many gunners out there right now don't give a shit about advocacy, don't give a shit about actually protecting our constitutional rights, but yet will openly, constantly, you know, be like, oh yeah, I love guns, I'm going to buy all these guns, etc., etc. Or even worse, be the people like Black Rifle Coffee Company, where they'll openly be like, you as civilians shouldn't have this shit, but me as some fucking military sniper asshole should totally have this shit. Like, that's the kind of gatekeeping I fucking hate, by the way. That and the people that keep the NFA intact right now, dude. The military arms channels, the world, etc. out there. Because those guys, dude, like, I would love to have a suppressor. I would love to have 10 suppressors. I would love to have a fucking SPR. I'd love to have an SPS. I'd love to have a fucking AOW or two. But guess what? I don't have, you know, thousands of extra dollars per, for 20 different tax stamps like y'all do. We wouldn't need to have the NFA in this country if it wasn't for people to keep reinforcing it by fucking buying the damn tax stamps, dude. We could all come together and be like, no, fuck this shit. Kick over that domino, and guess what? That domino topples the fucking rest. It topples the GCA of 68. It topples the Hughes Amendment of 86. It topples every single gun control that's ever been put on the books federally or to state level. And they could all be deemed unconstitutional finally, as they should have been decades and decades ago. Now is the time to fight. Now is the time to unite in this fight. Now is the time to be the good against the evil trying to take away our gun rights across the board. And it's really that simple. Have a good one, y'all. Peace out.